Maybe Charlie Kirk knew that his end was coming, and he knew that his time on the earth was about to end. Do you think that Charlie Kirk was purposefully going into this knowing that his life could be taken? Hey, God bless. This is Pastor Svet. I wanted to come on here to give some thoughts about the whole Charlie Kirk situation. Just some things I've been noticing, and also I believe just some lessons that we can practically learn from his life, but also what we can learn about discerning the voice of God. Now, first I want to say just my condolences to his wife and his children. I can't imagine how devastating this is, and also the fact as well, I have two kids that are similar age, so it's something that definitely hits home for me, seeing the tragedy that took place. I want to talk about a couple things. Now, the couple things I want to talk about is we have to learn how to discern the voice of God, and I believe that Charlie Kirk's situation could have been something that could have been avoided, seeing the red flags that were indicated before his death. Now, some of the red flags before his death that I believe that occurred was that he was receiving many death threats. Now, we have to understand is that the greater influence that we have, the more impact we have on people, the more that our message is impacting others, the greater resistance we'll receive, and also the more likelihood we'll be targeted. Now, you think about Jesus. They didn't target and want him to die, his own life, until he started having a big influence. When they started seeing his influence and his impact on the people, and they saw they couldn't stop him, they thought the only way they could take him out was taking his life. So because of Charlie Kirk's impact, and I know in 2024, his videos had reached a billion views, there was a target on his back, and he knew this. He knew there was a target on his back. He knew he did specific things to avoid even his children, pictures of his children being shown on television. And so he was aware of that. So he was aware of that danger. Number two, another thing that I saw that was a red flag for Charlie Kirk was that his previous ex-security manager told him that he needed to increase his security. He made some suggestions to him regarding the security that he should have. He talked about how he should have plexiglass. He talked about increasing his security around him in his events. And so that was a red flag that was shown to Charlie Kirk, that because of these death threats and of his influence, that he should increase his security. But Charlie Kirk didn't do that. The third red flag, what I believe that was obvious, was that while they were coming to the event, Charlie Kirk's own mentor, Turek, mentioned to him that something didn't feel right, that he didn't like the situation, how it looked, because of the buildings that were surrounding the event. Because we remember this, that the tents that he was talking from was at the bottom of a base. It was like a miniature outdoor stadium. There was levels of seats rising above him, and he was at the lowest. And behind those seats were those high-rise school buildings all around. So the viewpoint for anybody for being on top of those buildings was, they had a view of him, easy view. And so his mentor mentioned to him that he didn't feel right about the event. What I discerned from this was that, one, either Charlie Kirk, he saw the red flags and he wanted to go forward anyways. Either he was convinced that his life might be taken shortly, or he was convinced that everything would be okay. He either ignored all the warning signs, or he knew there was warning signs there, but he still chose to go anyways. So what we know about Charlie Kirk is that he loved talking to people. He loved debating with people. He loved going to events and speaking to people face to face and talking to others. And so the thought of him, I think, having the plexiglass, I think to him, he didn't want that, because it would be a disconnecting point from having conversation with other people. And I also believe maybe the security thing as well was another indicator red flag, was that he mentioned to security guard for the events. He mentioned that if the security personnel that come to the events do their job, he has nothing to be concerned about. So I think that as well, Charlie Kirk believed that people would be taking care of him and that he'd have to be nothing to be concerned about. As we all know, that it could have been an easy security check, an easy sweep of a drone flying over the buildings to see what was going on, and someone would have caught that person. And as well, I don't understand why the person who took a photo of the shooter on the roof, why they didn't report him. Doesn't make any sense to me at all, because they witnessed a person that was on the roof. But that's a different discussion. So I think what we can learn from this lesson is this, is that we have to discern the voice of God. If God is giving us red lights and indicators that something could be dangerous for us, we either have two choices. We can either listen to the voice of God, listen to what people are telling us, because, again, God speaks through people, or we can choose to go forward anyways and ignore the warning signs. Now, again, Charlie Kirk may have been ready to have his life taken. We don't know that. We don't know what was playing in his mind. But I know this, is that oftentimes before your life is taken, God will speak to you and tell you about your life being taken from you. We know that about Paul, that Paul was telling people that his life in this body was coming to an end, that he desired to be with the Lord. We know also that Jesus told Peter that his life would end in crucifixion at old age. So God often will speak to us and tell us of upcoming death. So maybe it could be. Maybe Charlie Kirk knew that his end was coming, and he knew that his time on the earth was about to end. We will never know, really. We won't know till we meet him in heaven and talk to him. So let me know in the comments below what you think about the situation. Were there more signs? Do you think that Charlie Kirk was purposefully going into this knowing that his life could be taken? Or do you think that Charlie Kirk ignored the warning signs, and this is something that happened more than unexpectedly? So look forward to your comments. Have a great day. God bless.